Welcome in, y'all.
Woo!
Welcome in. Hey, Facebook. Hey, YouTube. Hey, LinkedIn. I'm sorry we're late, y'all. We had a bunch of little things happening, but we're in here. And thank y'all so graciously for being patient as we come in here. So let's say hello first and good morning to our amazing club sister. I see Ocean is in here, and so is Cynthia Scott. Thank y'all so much for joining our live, joining this event. Listen, y'all, I'm so excited, and I just laugh because I just seen on here these comments, and I'm like, have y'all been in here this whole time? And if y'all have, okay, babe, y'all got a chance to see and hear some women talk and meet each other and fix their hair and get the coffee cup. Hey, Sabrina, how you doing? Thank you so much. Thank you, Sabrina, for your unwavering support of my platforms. It's important because sometimes when a woman of color is running the platform and she is really trying to provide space for she's trying to provide space for women of color. It does not mean that it's an exclusive space. It's inclusive, and we welcome all, and that's how we build sisterhood and get to know and understand other cultures, and joining sisterhood to a point where it's like the race doesn't matter. As far as if there's a room full of Black women, I want to put myself in there with them to let them know I support you and I'm here for you and I stand with you, sister. So, Sabrina, thank you so much for that. Thank you for showing up all the time. I can't wait to see you next week for Girls' Day Party. Y'all, I'm trying to turn this here. Okay. Oh my God. Everything is on the opposite side when you're straightening
Right.
stuff inside of this. Goodness, good grief. Okay. So, I want to go ahead and get started. Kelsey, give me a thumbs up if you're ready. We're ready for Kelsey to come inside of the room with us. Our other guest speaker today, excited for the day. I love your platform and support you always. Absolutely. Thank you. Kelsey's ready. I'm going to put the other, I'm going to add, here is Kelsey. Hi, Kelsey. Okay, so I want to go ahead and get started by introducing my platform. I am Tina Marie of Tina Marie, the Bridge Builder, founder of the Bridge Builders, a social club. That name is changing soon. I almost revealed it. I don't want to reveal it yet because everything is a production, right, Hip? I want everything to be a production. And so I'll be announcing the name change shortly. But my platform, my organization is for the empowerment, the inspiration, and the healing of women. Specifically, my the social club piece or the group piece that I have, it was curated to help grow and develop and give women of color a space, a safe space to share not only in sisterhood but in collaboration efforts in business, and also advancing themselves out into the community to make a bigger impact on community work. So that's who I am, and that's what I do. And now I am hosting weekly events every Saturday morning through LinkedIn. I started this through LinkedIn, but now I am going live on Facebook as well as on YouTube. So we can kind of get streamed everywhere. So I should be live in all those places right now. And I am today talking about women in leadership. And this subject, I want to get into it. Okay, we're really going to get into this, y'all. We're really going to talk about, I said the real tea about leadership, women in leadership. And I don't know if it was Kelsey or Kim or Tanya, I don't remember which one of you it was, like, oh, it's going to be the raw. I'm like, no, it's going to be the raw. We're going to talk about this thing and we're going to clear the air and we're going to really have a real conversation about what it really feels like to be a woman in leadership. So before I do that, let's go ahead and make some formal introductions. Let's start with Miss Tanya Mack.
Hi, everybody. Tanya Mack here. I am a brand ambassador and consultant for Rodan and Fields, premium skincare and hair care. But prior to that, I was an active duty officer in the United States Air Force, and I was there for 26 years. I joined right after high school at 18, and I retired from the Air Force at 47. So that's where I got most of my leadership experience and how I'm going to share whatever we're discussing in leadership, because I've had quite the experience as a double minority, as a Black female in the military. So I'm so excited to be here, so gracious, and excited to hear the stories and collaborate. Thank you for having me, Tina.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wow, Air Force, retired at 47. You look 27, okay, but we'll talk about that later.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Next, we're going to talk to Miss Kelsey Goins. Hi, Kelsey.
Hi, lovely people, beautiful people, and thank you for your service, Queen. Thank you for your service. I
Right.
am Kelly Owens. I am the CEO and founder of Visible Sisters LLC. It is a sisterhood organization with entrepreneurial resources. And as we know, nothing is ever that cut and dry. So we definitely connect. We are looking for women in business that are a resource because every woman is a resource of some kind, and specifically women in business so that we can grow together. Finding out what it is that a specific person needs so that we can collaborate and work together and move forward so that we're not stagnant in everything that we're trying to do. We don't have all the tools. Nobody knows everything, but connection is key, and being productive and working. We know there's hard work you have to do, but who wants to do it alone? Right?
Right.
It's hard to do that alone. Your family can't help, especially if they don't have that business mind. They're not into it. So it's a collaboration of like-minded women moving forward in all areas of life, not just business, but in personal life. We have all different kind of categories: wellness, health, all of it, you name it, we touch into it. Our motto is I am her, she is me. So there's nothing that's off limits. We dive into it all because whole women win. Whole women
Yeah,
win.
yeah, that's good. Thank you, Kelsey. And last, we have Kim of HIP. Hey there, Kim.
Hello.
You got
Can you
something else?
guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm telling you, first thing about leadership is being patient, girl. This connection all of a sudden want to start acting crazy. So thank you so much, Tina Marie, for this opportunity. My name is Kimberly Smith. Go by Kim the Creative because I don't know how leadership came up on me like this because it was like, poof, God just dropped it into this little crazy mixed up head and said, this is what you have been assigned to do. So with that comes a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and I'm here for the ride. I'm here for what God has given me. I dwell in the performing arts ministry on a level of mental health awareness. I've been doing this for a little while, but I'm learning so much more. And being a leader is, I mean, and all of a sudden, here's a whole little company that is that come up and working with people, and you're like, God, it's all God. Can I just say that and be real? It's all God because I grew up in leadership because when you go to church, you grow up and you're the president of the youth group, the vice president, and you don't know what you're doing. You just know Mama said if you don't do it, you're gonna get a whooping kind of stuff, and you got to do it, and you learn how to be a leader. You up in the front with your hand behind your back, standing in the middle of so you learn how to, but then you have those life challenges and everybody else got their hand on you, what you should do, where you should go. And you got to come back to that place where, okay, what is this for me? So here I am, CEO of HIP Productions, and I don't come to play. What we do is we don't beat down, we beat up. We beat up because it's all we create creative people through inspiration and encouragement. And it's not easy because when you on a shoestring budget and all the resources come from you, that's a whole nother talk. That's a whole nother conversation. But I enjoy it because I see what it's doing for the people of God. And that's it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I think I can log out now. No, just
let me give a round of applause. Thank you.
And thank you for your service, Sister Tanya, to our country. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I love you.
With some introductions. We're gonna get right into the questions, okay? I'm gonna start out with I think I'll start with Kelsey. I want each of you ladies to define leadership, because sometimes what I believe is that everyone wants to be in leadership until they get into leadership and they realize what leadership is and what it looks like. So I want you all to, in your best, in your own words, to define leadership. Kelsey, can you go ahead and start for us?
Absolutely. I feel definitely in my spirit that to be a good leader, you have to know where you're headed. Where you're headed in that leadership, especially having a membership. That way they have to be able to see the same vision that you have. They have to see and feel it and be in alignment in order for it to get to that destination. So forming that leadership is also being not above, but more times than not beside the people that you want to lead. You want them to lead with you. You want to look, not ahead where somebody sees me higher than them. I'm a big advocate of, I like to talk with women instead of at them.
Yes.
If it's a collaborative, idea, we're all in alignment, going in the same path, it kind of left the conversation about, hey, I don't have to keep saying, hey, I'm the leader, I'm the leader, I'm the leader,
Right.
because that's the least of it. But
Oh no.
okay, I'm here. Being a leader is definitely about serving. You have to serve. You have to be kind. You have to be coachable. There's not a person who has made it yet. I don't know anybody who has arrived except Jesus. Okay. But being in that leadership role, just being authentic, being honest, because being a leader, you're also somebody's going to mimic you. You're an influence. And my goal is to be a positive influence, to be empowering, because there's not just because I'm the leader of this organization, it's also implementing and knowing that you are a leader in your business. You're the leader, even though you don't have a team, you don't have, a membership or something, organization like we have, you are still a leader in your own right. Mothers, you're a leader of your home, even though you have a spouse, there's still some leadership in that. And then also learning more about leadership. Connecting with like-minded other leaders, talk with them, find out what's going on, what their hinderings were, what made them debilitated in certain areas, because being in leadership is not for punks. Having a business is not for punks. Okay.
Right.
It's for the weak.
Yeah.
But that is my definition of being a good leader. And it's not always, happy moments, but when you have that drive and you surround yourself with that sphere of people with influence, they'll continue to feed you. They'll continue to feed that vision, that assignment that you're on, so that you can continue to be a good leader and you can continue to get people and yourself to the next destination.
Amen.
That's good. Biggest takeaway right there for me. To know where you're going. That's a huge definition of leadership.
Yes.
To understand where you're headed. Because how you gonna take anybody with you if you don't even know where you're going?
Absolutely.
That's big. That was really key. We see so often that people want to be in leadership. And one of the biggest things that they have to understand is, in order to lead somebody, you have to understand the mission.
Yes.
And have some real guidance of your own on how you're going to get there before you can help guide other people. That was good, Sister Kelsey. Thank you so much for that. Let's go ahead and have Tanya Mack. Can you define leadership in your own words?
You know what? First of all, forgive me because I don't remember the scripture, but where there's no vision, the people perish, right? Mm-hmm. So the leader has to have a vision of where they're trying to go, where they're trying to take the organization, where you're trying to take the group, right? Tina and Kelsey both talked about the mission, not only where you're trying to go, but how you're going to get there. How you're going to effectively lead people to accomplish the mission. I think a part of that involves knowing your people, getting to know your people and figuring out what their strengths and weaknesses are and what each of them have that can contribute to accomplishing the mission. It's not all about talking, but also listening. People who feel seen and heard will do whatever it takes to accomplish the mission because they feel valued. So all of those things, having a vision, understanding the mission and understanding the people, and pulling out whatever qualities they have that will contribute to getting there.
I love that. I love that. I love it because when you work together, when you're in leadership and you are leading and guiding other people, if you're guiding only from your directives, you're going nowhere fast. Right? If you're guiding only from your directives, you're going nowhere fast. And so that's a really valid point that you just made. I'm sorry, I'm going to let Kelsey back in here. That's a really valid point you just made, right? Because if we're not collaborating, Kelsey spoke of that too. If we're not collaborating, we're not allowing other people's their input, allowing them to be seen and to be heard, so they know that they're valued and respected where they are. It's a huge part of what leadership looks like. That's good.
And as leaders, we don't have it all. We don't know it all. We're not perfect.
Right.
We're just accepting the responsibility of being a leader. And there may be some things that we don't see that other people can highlight to us. And then we can have the whole picture and everybody feels like they're a collective part of the team and that they're valued and we're doing this together.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, Ms. Kim, the creative, define leadership. Give us leadership in your own words.
Well, to me, leadership is first, being humble and being able to be servants. I mean, I'm just piggybacking off of Miss Kelsey, Sister Kelsey and Sister Tanya. They said it, everything, having those listening skills, being quiet, being slow to, I just take it in the biblical sense. In the book of James, where it says, be slow to speak, quick to listen, and slow to become angry. I know how to get revved up. I've done that in the beginnings of my leadership because I didn't know and wasn't aware of the assignment. You have to be aware of the assignment, and it's to lead other people. How can you lead somebody? The Bible says, and you're right, I don't know this one, Sister Ty, but he said, be not to be slow to speak, but with thy loving kindness have I drawn thee. We want to draw people through love and kindness. I'm just going to say this, nobody's scared of you. No, so all that woofing, all that stuff that we do to try to control people does not work. And so I had to ask God for myself, because we're talking about leadership, and I had to understand what the assignment was for Kim, that I don't want to be that dictator. I don't want to be a ruler. Because I read that in the word and how that pride becomes before a fall. So when God has given me such an assignment as this, it's precious to me, such as ministry, because I'm a pastor, I was ordained and all that stuff, but God help me, I still need Jesus. I still have to have that heart and the mind, whatever I do on that threshing floor, because I done dealt with a spirit, because I found out that the flesh and the blood ain't what I'm fighting. So as a leader, you got to get into that word. I promise you, that's for me. I don't know about nobody else, but I had to get in that word, because I could kill a brick, choke a stick, and drown a drop of water. That's how dangerous I was in the world. So God said, since you came over to my platform, I'm going to use you, Miss Think You Know Everything, and I'm going to turn you upside down. So what he did was put something in me called how to love unconditionally.
Mm-hmm. That's good. So I'm glad that you said, so let's segue into this conversation. Here it is. This is this is something I recite to myself as a leader all the time. And you brought up a very valid point inside of leadership and what that's going to look like. The dictatorship does not work in leadership. We see what it looks like. We had a president that tried to rule a whole nation through dictatorship and intimidation. First of all, that's not how God wants us to do anything, because the goal, personally, for me in leadership is to guide people's hearts back to God, right? That's the platform. That's what my platforms are used for. However, let's talk about this. Everyone wants to be complimented and celebrated, but no one wants to be corrected.
Oh, you have to be that. Oh, you have
Right.
to be
So
that.
let's talk about that. Let's switch gears a little bit and let's get
Oh,
into
yeah.
let's have a conversation about what that looks like, because you just made some points to say, God puts us in a position to love and to
Hmm.
respect and to allow people to be seen and to be heard. However, we're also showing up in his authority to say, when we see that things are not moving right, we have to recognize that sometimes the only time that people are comfortable with leadership is when they are being celebrated, when they are
Mm-mm.
being complimented. But what does it look like when they're being corrected?
I can
So
answer that.
how does that, give me 1 second, babe. So how does that look to you when you are trying to correct people who you are peers with, right? Who you're peers with, who's the opposite sex, right? Trying to correct or hold a man accountable when you are in leadership and you're a woman in the service, trying to hold another sister accountable or give some correction in your membership platform when you all are the same age, you're going in the same direction. When you have a cast full of people and you are trying to get them to get a part together or to pull out the character you have, the design for them. How do you do this correctiveness with love and through love without this part of this coddle culture? We were inside of a coddle culture. We're in a culture of, I want to be liked, as opposed to, I want to give love so I'm loved back. I don't care about being liked. We had this conversation in one of our club meetings the other week, and I said I don't care about being liked. Somebody, no, you do. Well, no, I don't. But I do care about being loved, because all the time people are not going to like you inside of leadership. That's one of the things you have to own being a leader, is that you will not always be liked. But if you're always being loving, then you'll always be loved back. So let's talk
Absolutely.
about how to be corrective, how to hold people accountable, um, with the authority that comes off still respectful. I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Kelsey.
I say in that, again, um, understanding always in our meetings, I always
touch
in our meetings, I
on
always touch
the
on
foundation of
foundation
the
of
meeting,
the meeting,
the
the
foundation of
foundation.
leadership.
Oh, you
The
breaking
break-
up. Okay, let's try it again.
Can you hear me now?
Is there an echo? Where you
Kim?
are, Kim?
I have an echo. Double.
Yeah. Let me put you out the room once.
Okay.
Okay. Is there still an echo?
Yes. Yes.
What happened? Lord, somebody trying to attack the show. I'm gonna remove myself. Okay. No. What happened, y'all? Okay. I wonder if it's just me. I'm sorry, everybody that's watching us. Can y'all be patient for 2 seconds? We're having some technical difficulties. Is that better? It's not. I don't know what happened. We can't open to this way. Let me see. How about now?
Yes.
We're back.
Sounds good.
Oh goodness. I went back and found something in the settings. Hey everyone, we're so sorry about that.
It
There's
happens,
production
definitely.
issues. We got it figured out. So let's get back into this question. I think that Kelsey was about to answer. Let's talk about corrective and accountability
Yeah,
inside of leadership and what that looks like and how you handle that. We're gonna
yeah.
give it about we'll give you about 60 seconds to answer it, okay?
No worries. I believe, again, I believe that it is tapping back into the root of why you came together under this organization, why you came under this umbrella. If you came in because the very first question is, do you agree with this assignment? Is your spirit in alignment and where you see your business going in alignment with this? So when it comes to being corrective, again, it's not about talking at someone, it's talking with someone, identifying what the problem is, seeing if you can come together, because everybody is an adult, but sometimes people don't communicate effectively. And a lot of people like knowing who you're speaking with. You have to consider the source of who you're talking to. You got to know a little background about them, how they answer it. Do they feel like something is combative? And being a good leader is recognizing those different traits. And I take a lot of courses on identifying women and their different personalities and how, my mom is in psychology. We talk about it a lot about that so that I can identify if I can say this to one person that I can't say to this person over here. I have to word it a little differently, because if I have embraced you in this organization and you've embraced me back, we can't let this be the thing that breaks us apart. Let's talk about it. Communication is everything. It can make or break a relationship. So I believe in relationship selling. If it got a ship on the end of it, it's designed to sail to get to the next destination. But if it's chaos there, you'll never enjoy the beauty of the sale. So just knowing who you're talking to, considering the source of who you're speaking with, and knowing that it's an open dialogue, not a talking at situation. And I think it'll have a positive outcome when you go in it head first like that.
That's good. So not talking at someone, but really having an open floor communication, gaining clarity, right?
Yes,
These are the things I'm hearing.
yes,
Gaining clarity, communicating with the goal to understand where the other
yes,
person is coming from
yes,
and to find resolve, right?
yes,
To find resolve. Very
yes,
good, Kelsey. Very
yes.
good. Come on here, Miss Kim Creative.
So, and when performing arts, you definitely have to understand the person, period, so that they can be able to develop the character that you're looking for. And so, communication is very valid. Effective communication, listening. But then, again, biblically, the Bible talks about God chastise those who He loves. So you're going to have correction in anything. But again, as Sister Kelsey eloquently said, communication is everything. It's not what you say, it's how it's said. You're not going to talk to me any kind of way and think you're going to get the result you're looking for, because you don't know my background. You might know, but don't poke the bear. So that's what we don't want to do in this season. We have people that are coming unhinged. We have mental health awareness. A lot of people have just become aware of their mental health since all this shut in and all these different things that's going on. We have to be very careful how we treat people, period. It's just, it just is what it is, so leadership is about correction. You have to have correction, or if you don't, you're going to steer off until some place that you don't want to go. So if you don't have control of your own self, don't try to lead nobody else. That's what I have to say, because I don't want, you don't know how many times I ask God, I don't want this, but you're fit for this. I keep hearing you fit for this. So if He says you're fit for this, you have to understand the rules of His people. It ain't about us. It's not about me. It's about His assignment on how He wants us to treat His people. So that's you, and discipline comes along with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's round up and tie up you guys' comments together. Basically, if those of you that are listening, they're interested in leadership, open communication, respecting others, understanding that there's something bigger going on than you just leading somebody, and understanding how to control, having emotional stability and mental strength to be able to guide people to the right place and add them into what it is you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good.
Absolutely.
That's Tanya Mack.
I'm sorry, I had some technical difficulties, so I didn't hear the question, but I think you were asking about responsibilities of leadership in correcting. Is that
Yeah,
what was that?
so I want you, so we talked the other day and you told me that you were in charge, I think, of 500 people at one time. Is that
Yes,
correct?
yes,
And you're in a male dominated industry,
yes,
and correction and accountability, holding people accountable, giving correction is part of leadership,
yes, it
right?
is.
This is the toughest part of leadership, and this is the real tea I want to get into, because although you can do all the things that we're talking about, right? We know as leaders, my number one goal with anything is clarity,
Right,
right? I'm
right.
going to ask you. I'm going to ask what's wrong. I'm going to ask what's going on, and in the most diplomatic way I can ask you,
Mm-hmm.
right? But if the pushback of some of the people you're leading is they're there to give you a hard time. So
Mm-hmm.
it does not matter how you deliver the message. It doesn't matter what method you're taking. If they're there to cause chaos and dissension and to kind of try to bring you down, as you and I talked about the other day, then
Mm-hmm.
there has to be a different kind of conversation. What does
Absolutely.
that look like?
Well, first of all, I always try to be very clear when I am a leader, a boss, a supervisor. So part of that responsibility is from the very beginning, when we first start working in a military sense or in business sense, these are my expectations of you. So let's be clear on that and make sure that you and I understand what the expectation is in the military or in business. And we're going to have periodic updates as to see where you are performing with those expectations. In business, which is what my current thing is, if you're going to be a part of my team, this is what that requires. This is what that entails. And if you're not performing or doing those things, it's my responsibility as a good leader to let you know about those things. And if it's going to be a hard conversation, I'm going to tell you from the beginning, you may not, this may not be easy for you to understand. And all conversations are not easy, but it's my responsibility to tell you when you're not measuring up. And it is important on how you say it, because people can get very defensive, and I try to make sure that people understand this is not to hurt your feelings. This isn't personal. This is a responsibility. I'm doing you a disservice if I don't tell you where you're not measuring up.
Exactly.
And then if I see people are getting upset or not open to what I'm hearing, I give them some time to kind of think about it and let it marinate. If we have to revisit the conversation a little bit later and, give people time to kind of think about what was said and maybe kind of get some clarity on maybe I am not doing that, or maybe I do that when I shouldn't be doing that. Sometimes it takes a minute. But I also make sure that I think about what I'm going to say before I say it to people, so I don't go to them in anger. That I take all the emotion out and I'm just black and white. This is what it is. This is the expectation. This is not a personal attack. This is what needs to be done for the best of the organization or for the best of the business.
Absolutely.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I wanna say this, that's all of these things are really how you guide and lead, right? How you guide and lead others. You lead others with kindness, in tough conversations. You you write down what it is you want to get across, what
Yes.
you're trying to convey.
Yes.
You do it in a loving way. If it's something serious, you do it in a stern way. Um, but the issue that a lot of leaders have to deal with is the cattle culture, this culture that wants everything to be. People want you to tiptoe around them. They want the delivery to be. You,
With a cake with a candle on it. With a
yeah, they
candle
want
on
to be
it.
with a
For
candle
it to
in
be
all
sweet. Yeah.
conversations. back to Tanya Mack, all conversations are not going to be easy conversations. Some of those
No.
conversations are going to be tough. But
Mhm.
I will say this to anyone that's listening that's in leadership. What I've learned, because I pride myself on being a good leader,
Mhm.
but what I've learned is that you cannot lead somebody whose goal is to be in opposition of you
To
and
disrupt
That's
everything you
absolutely
say.
correct. Yeah.
and
Right.
from there, because that's the real tea. That's what a lot of leaders deal with. I've dealt with it, right? I'm gonna be very, very candid. I've dealt with it,
Yeah.
but it didn't matter what approach I tried to take within some individuals. Their goal was to cause dissension,
Yeah.
and
No
then
matter
you
what
do
you say.
right, and you no matter what you say, and so then you find yourself on the other end of it, like, oh, you know, you came to the wrong place, and now you don't flew off the handle and cuss somebody out, right? So what I've learned, so back to that, let's go back. So
Yeah.
now the learning, because you continue to still learn through leadership, and someone said this earlier, we're not done as leaders. We're still learning. We're still,
Right.
we
That's
still have to
right.
be coached. We
That's
still have
right.
to go back and reflect. My
That's right.
reflection is to release with love.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's
Release
okay.
with love. Once
And
you
it's
find
okay.
out, once you
Mm-hmm.
find out that you're not being valued nor heard nor being seen or heard as the
Right.
leader that you are by people that are there with you,
Yes.
if they're not valuing you as a leader, if they're there to challenge your leadership, to compete with you, to cause dissension in anything that you're doing, instead of trying to, I shared this the other day with one of my club sisters. The Holy Spirit downloaded on my spirit one day. You can't love the hell out of nobody.
That
Right.
Only
part.
God can love the hell out of somebody.
That
That's
part.
it.
You
That's
can't
it.
love the hell. You can't support the hell out of nobody. You can't talk the hell out of nobody. Only God can fix
Only
those.
God.
So you have to know when to release with love so that you continue to still do God's work,
That's
That's
right?
right.
right.
So you find that you're not doing God's work when you end up cussing somebody out, because
Right.
you've seen all of this happening, but you've been trying to love the hell out of them, support the hell out of them, right? Talk the hell out of them.
Yep.
When it first came up on you, it was released with love.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Release with
Mhm.
love. So
Yeah.
certain times we don't want to lose members of our organizations.
Right.
We don't want to
That's
lose
right.
staff members. We don't
Right.
want
Right.
to lose employees. We
Right.
don't want to lose people that we brought onto our team because we see the potential. We built and forged these relationships with them. However, if there's a cause of dissension inside of what you're doing, you
Yeah.
have to be, that's where your leadership shows up and says, it's time to have a conversation, release with love. When they
Yes.
call you into the office, when we were younger and working for people, and they have to call you in and write you up, and they're
Mm-hmm.
getting in front of you because you being a problem.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You continue this, they release you with love before they have to get indignant
Absolutely.
about
Yes.
inside the HR office.
No
They
issues
give you your
there.
pink slip and say, go ahead, babe.
Yep.
You know, you
Right.
look like you still got some growing to do.
Uh-huh.
We value the time that you've given to our company.
And wish them
We
well.
wish you well. We
Right.
wish you well. And as leaders, as women and leaders, I think one of the biggest things about leaders, I shared a study inside of our advertisement piece, and one of the biggest things about women in leadership is we're more empathetic. That
Yes.
sometimes it can be a hindrance to how we
Yeah.
lead.
Mhm.
Yes.
So let's get into this next question.
Absolutely.
How do you build
Absolutely.
a team? How do you build a team? Let's talk about that. I want to go ahead and ask him now we've talked about it, we've defined leadership and talked about what it's like to hold people accountable and correct people. How do you build a team?
Discernment. How you have to have discernment. And it takes time. It takes a lot of time because you're getting to know each other and they're getting to know you. And especially when you're a woman coming in from the ground up with nothing, with no finances, you're just giving orders. And this is what we're going to do. And this is how we're going to do it. And that kind of stuff, and don't know. And they looking at you like, okay, she moving too fast. And it's like, no, I'm not. This is what we got to do. And, and so and I have the same ones I've had for, oh my goodness, 4 years now. And this, right, amen. And more people, praise God. Yes, praise Jesus for the HIP team. They are amazing. and I allow them. This is where I thank God, because I allow them to speak to me and tell me, Kim, you need to back down. You need to, I'm doing it. That's okay, because correction, amen. I have to be corrected. So but then they're willing to stay. If they corrected me and say, you know what, I'm out of here, then I know there's something else I need to really, really work on. But they understand the assignment. So it's you can't, we already know too many cooks spoil the stew or whatever. They got to know what avenue they traveling. They got to know what they bring into the table. And this is how HIP get chose. What are you coming for? What you there for? Tell us and we run it through everybody that's been there. They have to take a look at you. They have to check you out, because Kim could say, oh, they so sweet. They so nice. They so sweet, and come in and turn us upside down.
Yeah.
But then when you have a team that you trust, they are able to help you be able to be successful, and understand that it's going to first be blood, sweat, and tears before we get that yacht experience, before we get that big time experience where we on that vacation and stuff. Right now we grinding. And so they understand this is what we do. So that having a good listening team coming in and being excited, you have to show excitement. You have to show that you're about what God has given you. You have to show that in order for them. You come in dry, hey, how y'all doing? Da, 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 da. Yeah, we're going to do this. They're going to be just as dry as you. They're not going to be enthused. They're not going to be excited. This is your vision, but they have to also be included in the vision to help the company to grow. So I love my HIP team. And they're there for me. I know they have my back. I know they do, because they've been with me all the time. They get on me. So when they say, Kim, don't say nothing, I will do the talking. I'll sit back.
That's good. So making sure that you're also, the question was, because I'm going to get you, Kelsey and Tanya, how do you build a team? And you build your team by
discernment,
showing up with enthusiasm, allowing them to be included in everything that you're doing, being clear about the mission of the organization or what your project is, and allowing them to sometimes take the lead in some of the things that you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, absolutely. Kelsey, same question. How do you build a team?
Absolutely. And I am in total agreement with my sister Kim here, as we all are, that discernment is key. Discernment is key. When God gave me the vision for Visible Sisters, he told me right away that I cannot do it alone and that it is bigger than me. And so I asked God to reveal the women who are supposed to be in this sphere of influence, reveal who is supposed to, and even reveal. Now let's be clear, because we all know it. When he discern, baby, he tell you, and then you be looking like, oh man, not that one. I thought that one was gonna take it all the way to the. Like, no. But at the same time, God is not a punishing God. He's a fortifying God. He's a uplifting God. He's a leveling, higher level God. So, and not only sometimes God doesn't reveal those situations and those people to us so that we can be combative. More times than not, he's revealed it so we'll know how to handle it, because we're going to have, again, I am her, she is me. There's two people who's kind. There's also two people who are not kind. So you're going to run into those different attitudes. You might run into that same person that has that same quality, but staying prayerful about that assignment. And again, tapping into the root of why you're doing what you're doing, headed to where you're headed to, praying about it often, using your discernment. And Tina, you and I had a conversation about not ignoring what he discerns in our spirit. You know, we'll be like, okay, now God, you might be mistaken, right? We're gonna tell God he's mistaken. Right. Now, this person, just let me talk to him, and then they're gonna be all right. And it is a thing called time is up. that
Yeah.
person has served that purpose. You know, you have to learn how to say, I forgive you for not knowing how to be my friend. I forgive you for not knowing how to be my sister. I
Right.
forgive you for you came in and maybe that person got what they needed in the interim and now they no longer need it. But
Right.
instead of leaving with love, you want to leave with chaos. And that is okay. And it's okay to be in it, but you have to have a goal to be on the other side of it, not
Yeah.
just experience, but be all the way on the other side of it, so that when that same type of characteristic comes in as a member, as a person who wants to be a part of the groundwork, the management team, leadership team, knowing what it looks like. If this person looks familiar and it looked like the last person that came in and wreaked havoc, go ahead and look at it. Speak it out loud. Say it out loud. Talk out loud. We have to get things off of us in order for us to be our best selves, because not only am I the leader of this organization? Again, you're the leader of what you're doing. You are leading what you're doing. So you have to be in alignment. You have to be connected to that net that God told me to cast. If you don't see, yeah, you might see my vision, but do you see your vision connected to my vision?
Yes.
Is it in alignment? Is it in agreement? Or are you, but I ask God to expose it, even if it's going to hurt my feelings, but God said, I can fix your feelings. He's my shelter. I'm not looking for a person to make me feel better, but that's a thing with human nature. We're looking for a person to make us feel better. But at the same time, you can't heal where you hurt. You
Yeah.
cannot heal where you've been
Yeah.
hurt. So
Yeah.
just taking those things, taking those examples, taking those experiences, learning from them, growing through them, so that way when you encounter it again, you've evolved. You're at a higher level. You can deal with it better. Your temper is not so short anymore. You don't turn into this person that makes you a mean leader, to where you want to be mean all the time, because now
Right.
you got to put your foot down. You
Right.
can put your foot down, yes you can, but make sure it's sturdy and solid on compassion and kindness and
And
love.
truth.
So that way, whatever you take away with, it's on you, but I can live with it, and I can sleep very well at night knowing I did nothing to harm you, and I'm
That's
okay
right.
with it, and I
That's
can
right.
release you in love. And that's just it makes the sphere of influence stronger,
Mhm.
bigger, and it makes other people want to gravitate to it. And
That's
that's what it's about. That's
Okay,
what it's
so
about.
the question was back to the question was, how do you build a team? So part of what you're saying in order to build a team is, back to Kim, is to be discerning, to
Yes,
listen when God would listen to the small still voice that is God,
yes,
when God is revealing who people are to you, so you can release people with love. So there is not this shift inside of what you're doing, this little
right.
piece of chaos that happens because it's all there to throw you off your square,
That's right.
right? That's what I
That's
heard.
right.
So uh, that's a big piece of developing and growing a team,
Yes,
is knowing who is a fit for your team,
yes,
understanding that this person may not work inside of your space, and
yes,
knowing how to get rid of that person before the chaos unfolds, right? Because
yes.
at the end of the day, although you're a great leader, right?
Hmm.
I pride myself on being a great leader.
Yes,
Although I'm a great leader, if that kind of chaos happens inside of my organization, what I'm doing,
yeah,
although it's not going to affect the overall
right.
organization because God is here, right?
Yes,
This organization is ruled in the authority of the Lord, and
yes,
we move as God has us to.
yes,
However, when things seep in, and there's
yes.
all this chaos brewing
It
around,
will do
it
it.
does take you off of your square for a little
It
while.
does.
So it will stop you from building your team in the interim, right? So
That
you're
part.
kind of on if it happens over a month time span, a 30-day time span, say, it affects the building of the organization, because now the leader is taken off course, and now you're kind of disheveled for a minute. So
Hmm.
being able to recognize, now the next time I see this happening, Kelsey brought up that point, I like that very much. Now you see it happening, so now you become appreciative
Yeah,
of the little chaos, because
yeah,
it's a part of God grooming you
Absolutely.
into this
yeah,
business, right? Now
yes,
you know what it looks like, Tina Marie. Now you
yeah,
know what it looks like, Kelsey and
yeah,
Kim and
yeah,
Tanya. So you can
Yes.
get in front of it sooner than
yes,
later,
yes,
Right.
right? It's
yes,
all about
absolutely.
involvement. That's not going to be the only time you have a chaotic situation, but
That's
now we
right.
know how to do it moving forward.
That's right. And
Tanya
let me
Mack,
say,
how do
yeah.
you
uh,
build a team?
First of all, whenever I talk to people, whether they join my team or are thinking about being in leadership, I tell them the first thing, the most important thing is to know yourself. You have to know yourself and what you bring to the table and how you lead, what kind of person you are. And I try to relay that to any person who wants to be a part of my team. And then I make sure that I relate to them what my vision is and see if they are like-minded, if they can get on board with what I'm trying to do. I love it when I'm talking to somebody who is interested in joining my team and they can finish my sentences. Because that means we're like-minded. And Maya Angelou said, when people show you who they are, believe them. So you can be so excited about a person, but you're talking to them and asking questions about why they want to be in business with you, why they want to join your team. And they say some things that you're like, ooh,
right.
You are disappointed because you thought they were a certain person, but then they're saying some things that reveal who they are, even though you haven't seen those qualities before. So that might mean that person's not a good fit. So it's so important to get to know people, tell them who you are, what your expectations are, and if they can get on board with what you're trying to do. And if they can't, or they may say what they are doing to join your team or want to join your team, but they say something that lets you know that they're just saying what they think I want to hear. You know what I mean? So you have to be, everyone said discernment. Really know who you are, get to know people, and see if your visions align, if you're on the same page, if you're going in the same direction. You know what I mean? So all of that, discernment, get to know people, letting people know who you are to see if they are of like minds.
That's good. That's good. It really boils down to discernment when you're building a team. It boils down to discernment, to not just discernment, but to listening to everything.
Said and unsaid.
And say it again.
Whether they say it or not, what you see.
What you see, what they say, the energy they're projecting, because energy is powerful and energy is everything. Every time I go back after I've tried to love people through whatever it is, they said some things that were like, wait a minute now, that don't sound right. That don't, okay. Or their energy is projected in a way like, wait a minute, I don't like how you moving, babe. And now you look back like, oh, there were the signs here and there and there and there. And that takes you off track as a leader when we are not being discerning, when we're not listening and paying attention and using that. We want to bring people along so much, I think, as women, as being empathetic leaders, diplomatic leaders, fair leaders, giving opportunities and chances to. It's what we really want to do. We want to provide a space for everyone, and we want to be a place where we allow redemption. We want you to come in and be a place where you can feel redeemed, where you can feel valued and seen, even in your mess. Even in your mess.
Even in your mess.
The biggest thing is taking someone inside of their mess, allowing them, and saying to them, even in your mess, I receive you. Even in your mess, I receive you. Let's just figure out how the organization, how the team, how the cast, how we can help you grow and develop into the best part of who you are.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing about being a leader, understanding that, but also understanding that some mess is too messy for you to be able to handle.
To recover from. Yes.
That and allowing that person, saying to that person, right now, I don't think that this is going to be a right fit for you, because we don't have the capacity.
That right there.
Nor emotionally to bring on that kind of mess, if you will.
Yeah,
so
we're human. Yeah.
So I want to get this last question off, ladies, because we have like 4 or 5 more minutes. Okay.
Okay. Hold on 1 second before you go into your last question, Tina. I do have to go. My other meeting.
I have to go too.
Okay. Bye, ladies. We missed y'all.
Thank you so much.
Can you, Kim and Kelsey, before you go, if you can tell the people how to find you guys.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead, Kelsey.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Queen. You can find me. My personal page is Kelsey Beasley Goins. On my regular page, Visible Sisters LLC. That is our handle on Instagram and on Facebook. Please check us out. Take a look. Connect with us. Send me an email at visiblesisters@gmail.com if you want to learn more about how to connect with us. And then also, we will have if you allow me to say this, we will have a Sis Giving on November the 17th. It will be open to all women in business to come out. You can break bread with us, eat with us. Please bring your resource. You're going to be networking. They want to know who the speaker is. You are the speaker. So you will be coming and sharing your resource. Meeting people who do different things, because we never know who's in our community beside us that's doing the things that we need. So it's about being visible, whether you're Invisible Sisters or not. That's what God has called us to be, is be visible in our gifts, because our gifts will make room for us. So thank you, Queens. It's been an honor to sit on this platform with you all. I love you all. I love you, Tina. Thank you for the opportunity. Y'all take care of each other. Take care of yourself, and I will see y'all soon, okay?
See
All
you
right.
soon.
Love
Drive safe out
you.
there.
Love you.
Bye-bye.
God bless you.
Kim,
Thank you,
creative.
sis. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Kim the Creative. You can find me on Kimberly Smith with Gully in the parentheses, or Lights, Camera, Action. We will be launching the HIP acting courses. Information will be coming up on that. We are our main goal is to, work with the mental health awareness. So if you want to learn more about yourself and want the best pulled out, get a hold of us. You can DM me, or Handle It Productions also is another group page. You can reach us there as well. motherspitfire@gmail.com. You can email me. And so it's an honor, it's a privilege to be here. I hope you guys want to come out, because we are not beaten down, we're beaten up. If you want to get beat up and find out what's the best in you, connect to us. We're here for you. Stay connected to the HIP for the events that we have coming up in this coming year. We also, not just performing, we're also into healing conferences. We will be having our 5th healing conference in March. More information will be coming in March, the first Saturday in March. I think it's the 9th. And then we will be having our HIP business launch on January the 6th. All of this will be at Phoenix Center for the Arts. So stay tuned. Thank you. We love you.
Thank you so much, babe.
God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you. Drive safe out there.
Thank you. And thank you.
You're welcome.
For the opportunity. Bye-bye.
Tanya, it's you and me, and we got the last question before we let everybody go. You ready?
Okay. I'm ready.
It says duo. It's a duo. The last question is a long one. We're leading adults. We're leading adults.
Okay.
How do you create a culture that allows for everyone to feel respected, to feel valued, appreciated, all while following the mission that you're on? How do you do this with grown ASS people? How do you do this with extra grown people all the time? How do you get them to follow the culture that you're trying to create? Because everyone is a leader in their own right, but when they're joining your team, there's a culture, there's a mission that really is the agenda. How do you get grown people to follow that?
You know what? I think a lot of that ties into what we've talked about before, really knowing who you are and relaying that. And then I really, really love getting to know people inside and out. I like to ask all the questions, personal life, relationships, where you from. So I am really invested in the person. But at the end of the day, I also make sure that they realize that you're joining my team. I'm the leader. I'm the person responsible. So I will take input from everybody. But at the end of the day, the final decision is mine. And I'm going to relay that decision, and prayerfully you will agree and understand. You may not agree with everything, but I'm the leader. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying. So, but here's the thing for me. Here's the thing. How do you confidently, but with respect
Yeah.
Let people know. Like, I had a conversation. I was talking to the accountant for the organization,
Uh-huh.
and she's like, we have to meet with the board and figure out your salary, putting together me a salary,
Hmm.
and it has to be approved by the board.
Hmm.
And I said, well, babe, listen, in my Scarface, in my what's the name of that movie, New Jack City, I
Right.
built it, so I think
Nino
gonna
Brown.
approve it.
Yes.
They gonna approve
Yes.
regardless. This is what it is.
Yes.
And thank you so much for being a part of this.
Right.
That some things are not up for discussion.
Hello?
How do you do this and still make sure that the respect level is there, make sure that your team still loves on you and still understands who you are? How do you convey I'm the leader, and that's just the bottom line? That's it. How do
Just
you convey it?
That's how you did it. I think once you tell people who you are, what you expect, and what you're going to accept and not accept, they have no choice but to respect you for being real, for relaying that to them. And if they don't like it, then maybe either I'm not a fit or you're not a fit. But you know what I'm saying? Everything is out there. And I respect leaders who say that and hold people accountable. And then, like you said, sometimes you have to remove that person or remove yourself. But that's just it. It's just that simple to me. Of course, you want to be loved and liked and respected, but not everybody's going to do that. And no matter what you do or say, you're never going to win with some people. So you have to realize that one person is not going to work. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
It's just
yeah.
that simple. And I respect people tremendously as leaders who do that. And I respect you if I'm in an organization and this is how things should be and this is your non-negotiables, then I have no choice but to get on board. I respect that. A lot of leaders and people who want to be leaders don't know themselves enough or don't relay that. So people who know who they are, who are sure of who they are and respect me as a person, I'm all in. I am all in.
I'm going to end it by saying uh, the way that I help in the culture of my organization is I like leaders.
Yes.
Leaders lead leaders.
Yes.
I,
And you
I,
want to build leaders.
yes, you want to build leaders. You want to be aligned with leaders. Because as someone said, I think you said it earlier, is that you don't know it all. And so where you're deficient at, somebody is efficient in. And
Yes.
so if you align yourself with leaders, if you build your team around leaders, then the question of someone feeling like who does she think she is less because it's I know who I know I am. Right.
Right.
And so
And
I
you knew
like
what
that
you
she
were
knows
getting
who she
when you
is.
signed on board, when you joined the team. You
Yeah.
knew what you were getting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I like that. I would tell anybody if they ask me, my organization has an 84.6 or 85.6, just did the numbers the other week, retention rate.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge.
That's
I'm proud
amazing.
of that. And how
Yes.
does that happen? It happens because I align myself with leaders. Um, I respect other leaders. I am also coachable. I also can take a step away from some of the things I do because we
Yeah.
have so many leaders in the organization that they're able to step in the front and take over a bunch of different stuff. There was a time I emceed every event. I was a speaker at every event. I had to facilitate every event. Baby, now we have speakers, we have facilitators, we have hosts, we have everything now. And that's how I was able to build my team because it's surrounded by women who are leaders in their own right, in their homes, in their businesses, on their own platforms, on their own journeys. And it's about tapping into their leadership qualities and letting them know that you see and you value their leadership and what they
What they
bring into
bring
the
to the
organization.
table. And
That's
you
how
pick
you
them
build and
correctly.
sustain a team.
You pick them correctly because they understand the assignment, you
Yeah.
know, and they signed on. They
Yeah.
are on the same sheet with you. They
Yeah.
fit into your vision. So
Yeah.
it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna end this because listen, this thing is gonna go off. We've been on here an hour and like 15 minutes, or no, an hour and 8 minutes. But this was good. We have to
Yes.
talk about this again. But I want to leave the audience with this. If you're interested in leadership, it's not an easy role to have, because you will run across
Difficult
times
people.
where you are dealing with difficult people, and knowing how to navigate through that is difficult. You will run into times where there are people that's trying to bring you down, form coups around you. We talked about that. I talked about this with Sister Tiny the other day. That's going to happen. You know, people even that's not in your organization will try to form a coup. And you don't know what a coup is. It's a group of people that are trying to figure out how to bring you down
Hmm.
for nothing other than the fact that you're walking in, as my sister Ocean Kid says, walking in your greatness. People just don't like to see it. And as a woman in leadership, that's one of the things that we deal with from our own kind. And when I mean our own kind, I mean other women not understanding their own calling. And because they don't, they feel a way about you because you do.
Hmm.
And make sure that you see those people
Hmm.
so that you don't bring them over with you, because they will come in and cause dissension and give you a hard time. And so now that's affecting your leadership, but it also sharpens you. It
Yes.
also levels you up. And I
Yes.
think that's what Sister Kim said, or Kelsey. It also levels you up. It's also to
Hmm.
level you up. So enter into leadership, understanding you will not always be liked, um, that most people want to be celebrated and complimented, but they have a hard time with being corrected.
Yep.
And you have to deal with those kind of people,
Yep.
delivering what you're delivering to them lovingly but sternly, standing inside of your leadership role, letting them know that you are the leader. I am here, and trust me. Trust me, I am leading my walk with God. This is the mission. Be clear with your mission. Let them know what it is you're doing, so they're comfortable and confident with following you along the journey. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much, Tanya. Thank you everybody for tuning in. This was amazing. I
Yeah.
appreciate it so much.
Same. Same.
Yeah. I'll talk to y'all soon. Let me give a whole round of applause again around. A whole round.
Everybody.
Yeah, for everybody. Thank you so much. I'll see you later, babe.
Take care.
Bye-bye.